What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-High Radio. Shout in, stepping in the building. I got a friend and family member to the show, Markuann Smith. What's good with it, boss?
What up, B-High? I'm here, baby.
Man, I appreciate you putting up on the player.
Sure,
now,
man.
I mean, Markuann as EP, Godfather of Harlem. One of the biggest shows out right now, sir.
Appreciate
season
that,
after
brother.
season after season in this thing. How you feeling with the success that y'all done had so far?
Oh man, we didn't see it coming from anywhere, bro. Like you know, I believed in it, you know, but you know, we had to sell, like we had to get on some player shit and sell ice to Eskimo. You know what I'm saying? So for real, but you know, we did it. You know, we got turned down by 3 networks. I remember the journey, man. Like just hitting these different networks from Netflix to Apple to Stars, and no one believing in the dream that we had, you know, with the pleasure of working with my big brother Forrest Whitaker and Jim Atchison and
Come on.
R.I.P. Paul Eckstein and Chris Brancato and Nina Yang Bon Jovi. We were able to get it done.
Okay, so from conception to reality, I mean, what was this, you know, idea conceived at, and what was that like when y'all said, okay, we're going to do this Bumpy Johnson story in this thing?
Well, you know, we could take it back, man, so you can listeners know, like, it started for me over 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is before Forrest and Jim and Paul and Nina or anyone was involved.
Yeah.
So I used to go up to Lenox Terrace. Lenox Terrace is it's a pristine apartment development in Harlem.
Yeah.
If any of your listeners are from Harlem, they know Lenox Terrace back in the days, actors, politicians, athletes all lived in this complex.
That's right.
So I used to go up there and visit my godmother. My godmother, her name is Margaret Johnson.
Okay.
Now, Margaret Johnson, if you're familiar with Godfather of Harlem, she's played by Demi Singleton. That's my little sister. She played Serena Williams in King Richard.
Yeah.
Right? So Margaret used to tell me these magical stories of Harlem back in the days, how she used to walk out of a tenement building and smell fresh laundry hanging out the window. Or walk past 125th Street and see James Brown's name up on the marquee. Or walk past Sugar Ray Robinson's barbershop, you might see his pink Cadillac sitting outside.
My God.
Peep inside, you may see Nat King Cole getting a haircut, Jackie Wilson waiting to get a haircut. Or even walk past a stoop and hear Sam Cooke's voice coming out the radio.
Yeah.
Right? But she also told me how African Americans migrated from the South, coming up north. Regardless if you went to D.C., if you went to Philly, if you went to Newark, they were trying to escape Bull Connor's water hoses and his dogs, but they were still facing racism up here. So, you know, she used to tell me stories of how to even go purchase a hat, a simple accessory as a hat, the store owner may say, yo, you need to put a shower cap on your head. Because I don't want that hat to touch your black scalp. Or a father of 5 working hard all week decides to take his family for a steak dinner, and the restaurant owner says, nah, you can't eat with the rest of the patrons. You got to leave.
That's right.
We'll give you some food to go, but you can't sit here.
Yeah.
But she also told me about her grandfather. Her grandfather is from Charleston, South Carolina. 1905, October 31st is his birthday, Halloween.
Yeah.
And the streets know him as Bumpy Johnson, but his name is Ellsworth Raymond Johnson. And he didn't come up to New York City to become a gangster. He actually came up to New York to become an attorney like Malcolm X. But when he went to City College and he asked the bursar for financial aid, and they found out Ellsworth Raymond was attached to a black man, financial aid was dead. They didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
So he took the cards that he was dealt with in life, played it the best hand that he could, and that's how Bumpy Johnson became. Now, Bumpy is the first African-American that sat down with the 5 gangsters, the 5 roots of the La Cosa Nostra, our thing, from Maya Langsy to Bugsy Siegel to Lucky Luciano to Frank Costello to Vito Genovese. Bumpy wasn't just a gangster, he was also a philosopher. He read Nietzsche, he read Shakespeare. There's even rumors that he beat Bobby Fischer in chess. I mean, he was a thinker.
Yeah.
You got to think about this. Bumpy was locked up in Alcatraz, and he graduated all the colleges and went to the big house.
Yeah.
So from Dannemora to Attica or wherever he was locked up, but he ended up in Alcatraz. So he was locked up with the worst of the worst, from the Al Capones of the world to the Machine Gun Kellys. So Bumpy was known all throughout the country. So in a nutshell, I promised her that I would go out there and get the story of who her grandfather was.
My God.
And make it happen.
Hey, man, that's a beautiful ass story. That's a good ass story.
Yeah.
Okay. Also on the show, though, y'all touch on Bumpy's relationship with Malcolm, though.
Yeah.
Speak on that. What did she have to say about that? And then what was that like for y'all reconstructing all of that?
When she used to tell me the stories of, Bumpy wasn't a person, when you hear the Frank Lucas version and you watch American Gangster, Bumpy didn't die in an electronics store talking about Pepsi was the best product, and blue, and my stamp is Blue Magic. Nah, it wasn't that,
Yeah.
Bumpy actually died in my character's arms. I play a character by the name of Junie Bird.
Yeah.
So, back to your question, Margaret used to tell me how Malcolm used to come up every Sunday and play chess. And how Bumpy used to tease him and say, hey, maybe making some bacon today. You want some bacon? And, Malcolm was Muslim.
Yeah.
But you have to also understand, let's take Malcolm out the picture and go back to Detroit Red.
Yeah.
Or go back to Malcolm Little. Malcolm was on the streets.
Yeah.
He was a pimp. He was on drugs.
Yeah.
So their paths collided.
Yeah.
And from my recollection, talking to Margaret, she used to tell me that Bumpy really loved Malcolm.
Yeah.
He really loved him. When he passed away, he made every store owner in Harlem pay for his funeral.
Yeah.
So it made sense that we do a story that wasn't just a mob story, but we called it, in our pitch, the collision of civil rights in the underworld. Because think about it. You have to have interesting characters, right?
That's right.
You know why people like Tony Soprano? Because they never saw the relationship with a mobster and his therapist.
Exactly.
You know why people like Walter White? Because you're talking about a chemistry teacher that can't afford medicine for his deadly disease, so he starts to sell what? Meth.
Come on.
So these are the stories to me that really make sense.